Hello, hello, Please, who is here with us? Okay, Eric. Please, let's wait some few minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes, then we begin. Okay. Who just joined? The person who left. Please, who just joined us? Please, let's know your name. So I think I will begin by uh, answering Eric's question that he gave us. I think that will be okay by Eric. If you're okay by that, then you let me know. Eric, are you there? Let's know in the chat if you are here. Hello, Eric. All right. Since it's a live session and it will be saved, I think those who will come back later will have to go and start watching from the beginning when the live ends so that they will know what we started with. So let me know who is here with me. I have four people live here. Uh, it seems no one is responding. Let me see in the chat those who are here so that I can begin. Or I can just flow, say whatever I want to say, and then get to the end. Is Asante Ishmael with us? Asante Ishmael and Eric, are you with us? Okay, so I'll begin with whoever is here with me. Uh, I'm in the person of Amankwa Richmond Fusu, a graduate of Kwame Nkrumah University in Science and Technology. I read environmental science and I happen to be the best graduate student from my class with a weighted average that will be communicated later on. Yeah, yeah, I see you, Ishmael. And I've been assisting my course mates while I was there, and then I've also been assisting other junior course mates until now. But since I've not been around since I completed my service as a TA, I thought it wise to have a channel where I can continue to assist others. So I began documenting strategies that I use as a student and then uploading it to my YouTube channel over here. And also decided to uh, have groups that from time to time, when I'm able to get a chance to come to campus, I'll be able to meet students from each level who are part of the group so that challenges that they are facing, we can address them. So I tried coming to visit your class last week, but then we couldn't get a chance to. And we decided to create the group first and then have a live session where you bring in your challenges or problems that you are facing, and then we would speak to most of them. While we also, from time to time, upload videos that are going to guide you through your academic journey. So that is basically what we are going to be doing this very night. Yeah. So I welcome you all. Uh, while I go through the questions and then the poems that were brought to me, I'll also be sharing my experience and how I managed to move from being just an average student coming to the university with an average of 16 and then graduating with the CW that I graduated with. If I'm not audible, I will request you to draw my attention to it in the chat so that I will increase my voice so that you can hear me. So I'll begin with what you guys wanted to know about how I went about achieving my uh, grade. So the first question I'll be taking is what study techniques, daily routine, note-taking methods, and exam preparation strategies help you maintain a CW above 80? Also, how did you handle difficulty courses and stay motivated throughout the semester? Yeah, this particular question contains everything else that needs to be said. Yeah, and I think by completing this question would cover most of the things that we have to do. All right, what study techniques did I use? So basically, my study techniques were mostly trying to understand whatever that is being taught at lectures and preparing myself day in, day out. And 2 weeks before or a week before the exams is when I actually sit down to do intensive study. Because one thing about university is questions are not like the straightforward way we have them in our senior high. And then even the theory aspects are not always state defined, explained in simple terms. Most of them are application questions, which requires understanding to be able to apply them and write. And even the MCQs that we are faced with are ones that demands understanding. So yeah, I had colleagues who were that is my mates from SHS who were ahead of me. So I asked them for their experience with examination. And then from that, I deduced that for me to be able to perform very well, I will have to start trying to understand whatever that is being taught before it gets to examination, and to make sure that I don't go into the examination room without any misunderstanding or any confusions. I go in there with full understanding of or about 80% of the things that has been taught. And I can only achieve this by having my academic system structured. And I mean by trying to have a timetable. And before you can even set your timetable, you have to set a target that you want to achieve. So while you have come to the university, probably you want to graduate with a certain level. You get a second class, upper, first class, second class, lower, whichever target that you set. You can only achieve that by always trying to set targets for um, each semester as well. So each semester you have to sit down, take the courses that you are having, and then set targets for each of the courses that you are having. And then while you set courses target for each of the courses, you make sure you don't set target just to look for getting an A. You get it? You set targets which can be what calculated. You set targets to say let me set target to get an 80, 75, or something. You get it? When you are dealing with GPA, that is when you can set target to, let's say, get 80 and above. We're just looking at getting A plus, B plus, B minus, or whatever. But then with the CWA system, every mark counts. So when you are setting targets, you have to set target that you take into account every mark, and you have to set the target and multiply it by the weighted average and calculate it the way your CWA is calculated, and see how it's going to what push you. So before I even go about developing my timetable, I make sure I set targets which will influence how I design my timetable. And then make sure after I've designed my timetable, it is designed in such a way that I'm going to study or go over each course 3 times in a week. That is one to revise and then go a little ahead before every lecture. And then after every lecture too, I find time to go over it to see where I find myself with some difficulties, and then look for solutions for them before the following lecture. Else you go to the following lecture with some confusion and then with unfinished business and then get more confused. You get it? So those were the strategies. Once I have difficulty right after the lecture, I have to make sure I plan to get that problem solved before the next lecture. You get it? So consistently every week, it's like I'm going through every course about 3 times, and not like studying intensely, but making sure I understand and I have upper hand over every course that I'm doing. So that is a a study technique that I was using. I have a specific video on that on my channel, which you can also check when you don't get things. And you can also get my contacts after this session, and also reach out to me personally. And then where you want to share details and we solve the personal problem that you are also facing, we'll get that one to solve for you. And then the next part is my daily routine. So my daily routine is one, I make sure I come to campus every morning earlier than 8, usually before 7 or 7:30. Yeah, for consistently for 4 years, that was how I was coming to campus. I come very early in the morning because that is when the brain is fresh, is not distracted, and is not occupied that much. And I make sure I use that time to revise a little and then to go through some few things before I begin any lecture. So whether I have lectures in the morning or not, I make sure I come to campus every morning to do my personal studies before I begin any lecture. And then after lectures, if I have other lectures between the lectures, the first one, excuse me, I make sure I go and have some snack and then find a place to sit and then do some few revision or read a little ahead before that lecture so that it will prepare my mind for the next lecture. Other than going back to my hostel, that walking back to the hostel will first of all waste some time and then walking back to waste some time. So I prefer to be on campus and then spend the day until the last lecture before I leave. So that was my daily routine. And when I close from lectures to, I make sure when I get to my hostel, I only do assignment or some research or maybe calculative works where I found difficulty with. That will be more of active work to do, and then I do that. But then to sit down to read, the brain is tired, so you wouldn't be able to to read properly. So I go to bed, sleep, and then wake up later to do any study I want, or wait for the following morning, wake up around 4 or something, read some more, prepare, come to campus. So that was my daily routine for 4 years. Coming to campus before 7 consistently for 4 years was my daily routine. And that really helped. It really helped. I didn't have to spend too much time memorizing. I never memorize anything. My brain cannot memorize. Minti mindi baba. So I always have to spend time trying to understand, and understanding beats memorization whenever you apply that. Understanding beats memorization. So when you understand, it is easy to commit something to memory and it's easy to remember that. But if you do not understand, that's when you find difficulty memorizing it. So you look out for understanding first before you even try to commit it to memory. So that was my daily routine every day, Monday to Friday for 4 years. No day did I quit or stop. You get it? Beginning is difficult. Even along the way, sometimes you'll be tired. But being tired is part of human. It's a part of being human. When you sleep, you'll be tired. When you eat too much, you'll be tired. So doing anything, you'll be tired. So you have to accept that being tired is part of you. And you don't have to stop when tired. You only rest when you are tired and then you pick yourself up and you continue. And then for note-taking methods, I will share a particular, I'm preparing a particular video on that. That will be structured. That will give more details on that. You get it? That you can put out, and I'll also share a copy of a layout that will help with the note taking. Yeah, the note taking entails a lot, and I don't want to just brush through and think I have done that. But taking notes, the best thing is you read a little ahead, which will prepare your mind for whatever that is coming. And once your mind is prepared for what is coming, then you can better take proper notes during the lectures. During the lectures, you can better take note. You can then identify between what is important and what is not important when the lecturer says, because at least you've read something or you skimmed through the slides and you know what it's about. And then also you've read and you also transform the topics, subtopics into questions so that you find answers to them. And when the lecturer is teaching, then you hear him say, oh, people also misunderstood this, people find problem with this, those kind of comments. That is what you have to pay attention to, because those are the ones that they usually want set questions about. So I'll put all of them into a complete video where you would take note of all those points that will be elaborated over there. And for examination preparation, I make sure I prepare timetable for every examination 2 weeks before the examination, and then that is when I start. And then when I'm preparing, I make sure I am preparing and timing myself as if I am studying or writing examination, putting myself under examination pressure. Yeah, because I've tried already to what understand. So now I'm trying to recall, to write down, to read, and be able to put them down. So I have to be able to do it fast. So I time myself, and I do that 2 weeks before, and then 1 week before. And while I am doing that, I make sure, excuse me, and while I am doing that, I make sure I solve any questions, past questions, or anything that I have with me during that time, because looking at those and trying to solve them shapes your thinking and then helps you to understand how examinations are structured so that you prepare or learn in that way. Do not wait a day before the examination or during the examination week to go through past questions or anything. Those things have to be done 2 weeks before, a week before. You get it? So you do it 2 weeks before, and then a week before you go through your slides again, and then you go through the Pasco again to see if the answers that you chose or the way you solved questions were the right way. You get it? And by so doing, you make sure whatever that you've done is done right and then done properly. So that is the strategy I use to prepare myself for examination. And I make sure I document everything that I'm studying and summarize them in a notebook. I have an example here that I'll show you so that during the main examination week, after I have studied for the paper the day before, when I wake up in the morning, then I take that summary and then revise. Then 30 minutes before the paper, I make sure I allow the brain to what relax and then organize itself. You don't have to enter the examination room trying to look at something that you've forgotten or anything. Allow the brain to what relax, settle, and then when you get in, you have to what feel relaxed before you start anything. All right. I have another question here. What's How did I maintain my CW? I maintain my CWA of 80 and above by being consistent with whatever that I'm doing. Setting targets for every semester, having steady timetable, having a timetable that will guide me to study for the examination. Everything that I was doing, making sure it is strategic, following a plan. That is how I was able to maintain it. So unfortunately, I began with a CW of 75. I made sure my first year, second semester, I moved to the 80, and then I maintained it throughout to my final year. And the techniques, the strategies I used were strategies that I used to help my own students when I was a teacher. And when I came to the university, I said I have to apply this to myself. It worked, and then I also had to assist other people to it work for them. That is why I have always tried to teach others to what go by them so that it makes their studying smarter and easier. Let's move to the next question. So, how did you handle difficult courses or stay motivated throughout the semester? So, for every semester, you are going to have difficult courses, you are going to face difficult courses. And one thing you are supposed to note is that when you are faced with difficult courses, you look for solutions for them. There is always going to be courses that are challenging, but then when you have difficulty or problems, you don't focus on only the problems, but then you focus on solutions for them. So my mates who were also equally good in my class will come to, oh, this course, I'm going to have this course is going to have some problems for me. I'm going to have challenges with this. It's going to reduce my CLB. And I always tell them, for me, I don't think I'll have a problem with that because I am focused on finding solutions for them. So if a lecturer comes to confuse me, I don't take the confusion out of the lecture. I leave it with the lecturer in at the lecture, and then I'm going out to look for my own solution. That is how I go about it. And then whether it's through YouTube or through seeking help from another person, that is how I go about it. I don't allow anything to be too much. And if it's something that I find difficulty studying, then it means I have to break the course into what? Several study sessions. You get it? So instead of waiting to study everything bulk, I can decide maybe I didn't like French that much, so it was a difficult course for me. So I always choose to make sure I have an app that will give me the basics that I'll use to study the basics of French. So maybe in the morning I do some verbs or something. In the afternoon, then I go do some adjectives. You get it? So if you're having difficulty with a different course, then you have to break solving that particular problem small by small because it's something that is difficult for you. So you don't have to go into it all at once. You break it down small, small. So if it's let's say you are dealing with calculus, that is a problem to you. You start with differentiation, then you study maybe 30 minutes, one subtopic, try to understand it in the morning, and probably in the evening, you move on to the next, the following day. So if you break it down little by little, before it gets to examination time, then you have covered all the difficult aspects. But you don't have to look for a time where you sit down because our brain works in such a way that it will definitely forget something. So you have to give it the chance or the room to forget something, and then you go over and try to retrieve it. And while you are trying to retrieve what you studied that you are about forgetting, you force the brain to make sure that this is something that it shouldn't forget. Then the brain puts it in the long-term memory. So that is a psychological technique that I use to face every difficulty. So I'll break it down into small, space them out, maybe morning and then evening to see if I forget something. And then the next morning. So it's by spacing them out, it gives me the chance to force it to what the long term memory so that I wouldn't forget. So that the brain knows that this is important to you. So I shouldn't forget about it. But if you go sit down, get someone to let's say teach you for you to understand it once and then you leave it, you definitely forget and then find difficulty with it during the examination. So that is one thing that I use to overcome most of the course. For instance, chemistry was a problem for me. I got D7 in my WASI, but then I made sure it wasn't a problem for me. So I study it small, small, find time to solve some one or two questions, and then leave some time in between, probably the next day, go over it, and then move ahead. Get it? In that way, you space it, you give the brain the chance to what? Forget some and then force it to put it in the long term memory, and then that one helped. So I wasn't a master of chemistry, but then I did my best and I was able to master it and use the same technique to master every difficult course. And once you get confused during the lecture, make it a point that that very day, that very evening, you are going to solve it. And if you are not able to solve it yourself through your personal study or YouTube, then you are going to look for a senior course mate who can help. Or probably you can come to me and then I'll find a solution to that for you. You get it? But whatever means it will have to take, you have to make sure you are finding a solution to it right after the lecture. That should be the focus. You get it? And then you find a way that will make it what easier for you. That should be the focus right after the lecture. Let's move to the next question. How do I stay motivated throughout the semester? My motivation is always looking at the fact that I have an opportunity to be here. Not everyone had the chance to be at the university or to be in the university. So I always look at the fact that there are people who are better than me who wish to have the opportunity to be in the university. So if I have the chance to be here, whether I will use my certificate or not. How to make good use of what? The time I am having here and the opportunity, and make sure I maximize it to achieve the best for myself, not for anyone, at least for myself, because it is better for me to have a certificate and not need it, but then to need the certificate and then not have it. You get it? So I make sure that is a core. So there is a video that I always watch that helps me keep myself up and being focused all the time. That keeps me focused all the time throughout the semester. And then I make sure I am consistent with every and I don't focus on just motivation, because sometimes motivation will fade away. You get it? You have to focus on the fact that you need to be consistent. You are building a habit that will turn into a lifestyle. So you should focus on the actions that you are taking. You get it? Motivation will sometimes fade away. And then there should be some motivational video that you have saved on your phone or downloaded on YouTube or saved on watch later on YouTube that you go from time to time when you feel down or feel unmotivated to go and watch. You get it? So I made such kind of video also and upload it on my channel. But then you can find other ones if mine is not helping, so that you listen to it, so that it keep you rekindled every time that you feel unmotivated. And you can also request for the video that I watch myself to keep myself motivated. It is one that is very sad, and I watch it all the time to look at the fact that I have an opportunity to be here and I want to make a difference in the life that we have. You get it? My main thing is making a difference. That is why I try to create this session to also share some experience and help you guys out. So it is very important to me to have you here to give this assistance you, because that's one part of the motivation. Being able to make a difference in others' life, being able to support others is one thing that is very key to me. I will also move to the next question. Someone asks if I can help increase their CW. That one will be a personal thing that you can come and see me so that I will help you through. And someone is also asking the rule to follow to get that 80. I think I've shared that one already. And someone is also asking how I am able to study for long hours without being distracted. All right, I study for long hours by making sure I break that long hours into different sessions. You get it? So let's say for 40 minutes to 1 hour will be for one particular course. You get it? And then after that, I change it to another, because after an hour, a course becomes quite boring to us to continue. So I switch to another or take some 30 minutes to break. You get it? But if I'm switching from one course to another, then I have to take about 5 to 10 minutes short break and then move to the next course that I want to do. You get it? In that case, I'm able to sit down for about 5 to 6 hours in a day, cover about three courses with some breaks in between. You get it? Yeah, and then it helps me when I'm preparing for examination. Get it? When let's say if you are studying a course that you don't have much interest in it and you feel dizzy, tired, or unmotivated, then you switch to one that you really like. After you've energized yourself by studying what you like, then you switch back to the other one. You get it? You don't have to allow it to be like I don't like reading, so I don't want to focus on it. You allow this one to motivate you, give you the energy, then you switch back to it. You get it? In that case, you're able to sit down for long hours. And then you also choose the right environment to study in that will help you. Yeah, for me, I always make sure I choose to study on campus, either at the learning commons or I sit at the labs or go to the library to what study, because I need a very quiet environment to give me that mental focus. You get your environment also dictates how you give your attention. And if I want to study in class where most of the students are making noise while we are waiting for a lecture or something, then it means I have to put in um, some headset or earpiece so that it will block the noise and I'll be listening to some cool songs and then try to study. So I try to do things to create an enabling environment that will help me study. So I always choose to study um, at the learning commons where there is no much noise that you can have much focus on what you are studying. All right. Someone also says, I want to know his or her learning tactics and how to get access to the lectures. So I think I've compiled most of all the courses, if not been changed. I've compiled all those courses, and I can also share that link with you in the group so that you can have access to those slides ahead so that you can be doing those studies that you want to be reading ahead. All right. And for the tactics, I think I've shared most of them. I've made videos about them. I'm still making more videos, trying to break them down into different sessions where it tackles specific areas that you actually want to. Maybe probably one that I may be talking about right now is not something that you need, you get it? And I may be talking about it later on. uh But then if I upload one and you think it's not the one, then you wait for the one that is going to help you. Or you can personally inform me about something that you want to have a video on, and then I'll also prepare the video and put it out there. Because personally, my videos are supposed to be of more of a documentary tutorials, you get it? But then I'm trying to make these ones to put over there to assist students before I go into making my personal channel videos. All right. Someone is also asking, what can I do to increase my CWA? I believe everyone can increase their CWA by properly first sitting down to plan, projecting from where they are to where they want to get to by actually looking at courses that they have and then what actions that they have to put in place to move them. You get it? And then if you really want to move, then you have to change the strategies with which you are studying. You have to change your daily routine, as I have been talking about. Have a timetable that you are going to follow. You get it? All of you have to be in place. Change all your study techniques. I have videos about all of that. And while you've done that, then you have to have an Excel sheet. Put your previous or current resource here, or you can contact me personally. I have a copy of that, and I'll show you how to do the calculation and project. And you can actually project to see where you are going to be. And if you think that is not actually where you want to, or that's not the kind of increment that you need or you want, then you can better still increase the target that you set for every course. And while you are increasing it, then you know that it will require extra time, efforts to be put in. You get it? And once it's going to require extra time and effort, then you have to also start managing your time in such a way that you give more priority to your study. But at the end of the day, your certificate is going to have only your name, and then you are also going to take it along with yourself and no other thing will be added onto it. So you make sure the academics is the main thing that you are focusing on. So someone to ask how I balance my academic activities and social life all together. Honestly, I don't think I had much of social life. Me, most of my life were work and then academics. You get it? Yeah, because I was taking care of myself, paying my fees, feeding and everything. So I only had academic and social life were just a little. But then maybe you are having social life and academics. To manage it, you make sure your timetable is set that is a little flexible but then rigid. So you assign hours to courses that you want to study in a day. So you said that, let's say today I have two courses to study. I want to study each of them 1 hour or 2 hours. You have it down. Then before the day begins, you plan on, let's say I have these free times within the day. From this time to that time, I'm going to use this 1 hour or 2 hours to study this course. You get it? And then from that time to that time, I'll use that time to study this course. Should in case any other activities comes in to prevent you from doing one study, then it means you have to find another time within the day to cover it because you have to get 2 hours to finish a particular course. So whatever activity that will come in, for instance, answer games, those programs, I will attend. You can call for tutorials. I may understand the course or not. I'll come. It is something that will take my time that I've planned. But because my timetable said that, I am not saying I want to study between 10:30 to let's say 12. But then I said 2 hours for maybe maths or 2 hours for ecology. Then, if I am having this activity at this particular time, if I use that time, then in the evening, I'll have to sleep very early, wake up, and then finish what I lost within the day before I begin the following day's activity. You get it? So that is how I was able to manage all of those. So several activities may come in and I'll lose my study hours and everything. But then I make sure when I lose the hours, I'm not losing actual time. I'll look for another time within the day and then allocate that time for my study and then cover it. So I don't leave any day having any course uncovered, else I'll be losing some contact hours for myself. So that was the strategy that I was using to balance academics and other activities. So for instance, after lectures, I'll have to go and then teach. And me having to go to teach, I'm going to be stressed, and right after that, I'll have to rest before. So balancing work and other things was very stressful. That's why I always make sure early mornings should be a time that I'm studying and I have to be on campus. And then make sure I use that time on campus to do most of my little studies before I close. Because once I close, I know I have other things that I have to be doing. I wouldn't get much time to study. And if I have to study, it has to be in the evening after I've had some rest. You get it? But you may be having different kind of schedule and activities to yourself. So you make sure, oh, maybe this week coming is going to be answer week. We are going to have this game. So this game is from this time to that time. You go there and you plan that right after that game, I'm going to, or if the game is starting at 9, then you plan in such a way that I'll wake up at let's say 5 and then study something to 7. Then you prepare yourself, you go. So you go there with people playing and stuff, but you have already studied something before coming. And then after the games, you go back, take some rest, and then you cover something little that was left on your timetable. So you don't actually lose anything with the day. You get it? So you try to always allocate time within the day to cover those courses that you have on your timetable. So that was what I usually do to manage my academics with any other thing that will come. I don't mix them. If anything comes to cross, take my time and make sure I find another time for that. You get it? I made academics the first priority and any other thing the secondary matter. Yeah. I'll go into some other questions that were some people were facing and then look at them. Someone said he or she really needs help and proper explanation. So that person I don't think is here. But then if the person is here, the person can contact me personally and then the explanation, if I can, I'll give those explanation or help. If not, I'll find someone who can better help you if I'm not available to do that. Yeah, we are a team and then we are ready to assist you to do your best. How to master every course and get an A in all of it, not just one that you're having trouble with. I think I uploaded a video on that just recently, about 2 or 3 days ago. You get it? And I've been talking about it. You have to make sure you give equal attention to all courses, not just specific one or two. You have to give equal attention to all courses and then only give extra attention to ones that are very difficult. So like I said, I'm studying every course 3 times within a week. And maybe there is this 3 credit hour which is also tough, difficult for me. Then on my timetable, I have to look up for a day that after I've studied these three courses, that one I'll study some 20, 30 minutes extra to look at where I have serious difficulty with. So when my results come, I'll just have straight A's. I mean, A's are not my problem because my targets are looking at getting 80 and above. So when it comes, I'm always having above 70, sometimes 96, 94. You get it? And the ones that I have difficulty with and I'm unable to, those ones will be the 72, 71, 75. You get it? So that was the strategy I was using to make sure, and I have a video on that that you can watch. I may miss something when I'm trying to explain something. That's why I try to also make videos that will also help. So be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any time I upload because I'm trying to take my time to upload structured videos that assist with time management when you are feel like giving up, how to change your study habit, how to prepare for examination. One that will be coming is how to um, take proper note during lecture. I'm trying to break everything down. That will be a guide for you guys and every other person that you can recommend to help. Because I've done it for personal people, but then I'm not always on campus now. So this is the best way I can do to help. And when I get chance to meet you guys on campus, then the specific problem that you'll be facing with specific courses, then I will take a look at them and then we find solutions to those challenges or problems. Someone also asks, how can I overcome fear when studying? Overcoming fear, the main thing will be looking at the fact that you have to be in the present. And be in the present, you have to focus on action. The past doesn't belong to us, it is gone. There's nothing that we can do about it. You can, if you force yourself to live within the past, it won't change anything. And if you are trying to project and look at how the future can be and how you can change it or whatever, I bet you can't do anything about it. So the best you can do is plan for the future by living in today. So maybe there is something that you have challenges with, you've tried a particular course, and then it's becoming a problem to you. You have a chance to rewrite that particular paper or course. So leave it in the future. Focus on what you have now and take actions for things that you have to do now. Save your slides or PowerPoint for the future to use. Focus on the courses that you have now, maximize your effort to pass them. When it gets to that time, then you focus on what? Preparing for that. If it's examination and you are having difficulty and then you think you are going to drill or you are not going to perform well, that is a problem. leave the problem. What Ask yourself, what can I do to change it? What can I do to make things right? Look for actions to take. You get it? And if you cannot identify them yourself, you can reach out to me or reach out to any of my teammates, Bunty, Alfred, and they will find a way to also guide you through. Focus on finding solutions, not always focusing on the problem. Problems will always create fear. You get it? So find yourself in the present, live within now, because the next minute doesn't belong to us. The past doesn't belong to us. We only have now. So actions you are taking now and what you are trying to do now is what really matters. Yeah. And someone is also asking about how the person can appreciate the program they are reading. Okay. The person asking, I assume you didn't like this particular, it's not something that you like. But today we have it. You have it, you are doing it. It's only you stop or you do it right. You get it? We didn't choose where we had to be born. We didn't choose our parents. We didn't choose the kind of face we wanted to have. We didn't choose a lot of things in this life. Life gave it to us. You get it? So today, if you find yourself reading environmental science, but it's not something that you like. Take it as if it's something that you had no choice. You get it? But then you find it with you. You didn't choose your face, didn't choose your hometown, but you choose to love it and do your best with it. So whatever that you are holding now, make sure you hold it very tight and do your best with it. You get it? No matter what it is, make sure you are doing your best with that. And then such person, I would like to speak to you personally. You get it? There may be certain details that I will want to get from you so that I'll be able to help you get yourself out of that and then appreciate the course, not just any. There are some details that will help. You get it? I remember last week one person from level 2 they approached me with similar kind of issue, and then now the person is back on track and always studying. Whenever I come to campus, he's always by me and then studying. And whenever he has any challenges, we are addressing them together. So that person, I want the person to come to me personally, provided the person is here because I can see only two people here. God, time will come. Then, or the person will probably come and watch it later. That one is for them. That's why it's a library to be saved, and anyone can come and watch it later on. And someone, I want to know how to pass my trail courses. All those having trail courses should put it down. We have noted all of them, and then at the appointed time that we have to deal with them, we will all deal with them. But then we also find time to meet on campus. You can choose to come or not. If you come, it will be a benefit for you. If you don't come, God being so good, we'll move on. But then that will be a time where we'll get to give you more details about how, because I was academic head for 2 years when I was a student, and I assisted my mates, past students, several people every year to come and rewrite their papers so that they can clear it off. You get it? So we know how to go about all of those. We will get into those details personally and then look at it. But now you are having message. Let's focus on that, and then we'll get time for all the true courses. Is a matter we need to address. But then for now, let's hold that one on. Yeah, so far I think I've been able to answer most of the questions that were sent to me. If anyone is having his or her own not answered, the person can let me know so that the person can type it over there and then I can also answer. But I've been able to go through all the questions over here and answer them. Most of them were repeated. I think those people entered them multiple times, but then I've answered most of them. And if you are here with us still, I'll also use this opportunity to give out my contact so that you can personally have my contact and contact. I'm part of the group, just that you may not identify the actual person. Maybe you look for any of the admins and then contact me. But then I have only three people over here, so I'm going to give the contact to the three people. Probably two of them are still Bunty and then Alfred and maybe one other person. I don't know. So my contact is 05455907335, and you can contact me on that, and then we can take things from there. So if there is any other thing, I will appreciate the person to put it in the chat box so that I can also answer them